question. Since before your sun burned hot in space, and before your race was born, I have awaited a question.
Here we have the studio scale, or 537, which is the same scale as the original ship that was used in the Next Generation in Picard's Ready Room, was based off the 537 refit AMT model kit. Now, as you see here, I've broken down the primary hull into its constituent parts. On the left, you see the rear of the primary hull, then the forward section of the primary hull, the impulse deck, and then scattered about are parts of the pylons and connectors to the nacelles, or nacelles, if you will. Now I'm getting ready, and you can see the connectors 1, 2, 3, 4 right there between the two primary hull sections. Then you see the two other connectors that connect the parts of the pylon assemblies. And one part is almost completely assembled. It just shows the connectors attached to it. Now, when you connect all these parts, there's virtually no seam. It was such a good print. There is virtually no seam. Now, what I'm preparing to do is I'm preparing to prime all of these parts. I'm going to do some basic assembly, and I'm going to prime each and every part and get it ready to shoot with flat black after priming, and then drill out windows, and then shoot with the base coat of primer and then flat white. But what you're going to see right now is just these parts, and then I'll show you the primed parts. I may print this in clear because I may prefer to light it, and if I light it, I want to light the impulse deck, and it would be a lot easier to light in clear than to drill everything out, come up with patterns, etc., etc. Plus, I may light up these shuttle bay doors to look a lot like the Reliant, with 1 and 2 and then 3 up front. Maybe 4, 5, 6. I'll figure that out another time. Anyway, here are the constituent parts of the primary hull of the Stargazer, studio scale Stargazer / 537. All right, I wanted to show quickly the accurate bridge, as in accurate to the filming model. I may cut this off and use the bridge for the refit. I'm not sure yet. I think I'm probably going to keep it studio accurate. All right, more to come. All right, as you see here, we have the upper and lower halves of the main hull for the 1/350th Romulan bird of prey. I've got a scalpel here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot both sections with another coat of flat black. And then I'm going to start sanding. No, I'll probably shoot it with both with a couple of coats of primer as well and let that fully set up. I want to really sand these lines, and I want to get good, clean, sharp lines all around the circumference of the primary hull and each one of these diagonal lines. Additionally, I have to pick this up. The windows are only faintly marked, and some of them are almost impossible to see. So I'm going to get a measurement and finish plotting out these windows. You can see some here and there. Here's a good indication, but as you pan down across the part, you see they disappear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the most accurate 3D file that I have of this ship and align it with these evident window marks for drilling and replot these windows after finding the best examples and trying to plot them out by hand. I want to make sure that I get these windows right. Now, I started building another one of these years ago when it first came out, and the windows were much more defined. This one's just not defined. The windows are not well defined at all. And after about 3 more coats of, well, another coat of flat black at the very least, a couple more coats of primer, they're going to be virtually indistinguishable. Now, as you can see here, I've also shot the interior with flat black. I want to perfectly opaque this because I am going to be lighting it, as in just like the last time. But I will get those windows plotted out, and I will sand and get a good clean line on these diagonals, both the upper and lower primary hull. And if I have to, I'll take other measures to make sure that I get good, firm, clean lines. Stay tuned. As you can see here, I've drilled out what windows I could locate, which wasn't many. I'm sure more than one is probably drilled off center to the rest. Not worried about that. I can putty and fix that later. As you can see, it's incomplete, but you know, it is a work in progress, and I will be using fiber optics. But this is just how rough the pull was on this. The windows are almost non-existent. The little spots to drill are not even visible at sometimes. So yeah, I'm going to have to plot. I'm going to go by what I've got and plot out the rest of the windows, fill with fiber optics, move on from there. So here's the upper half. I got most of the windows plotted, but not all. Plotted and drilled. Made a couple of mistakes. Again, I will putty and re-drill at a later date. Okay, there we go. Alright, so here's the upper primary hull / upper main hull, whichever you want to call it. As you can see, I'm missing a bunch of windows. I'm going to have to putty and re-drill a couple. I'm surprised I got as many as I did, considering I couldn't see any of the little dimples. I've got a whole region here I'm going to have to tape over this side after it's done, flip it, and then use that as a guide to drill out the rest of these holes. Obviously, that's got to be fixed. There are a couple there that need to be filled and corrected, but that's not a big issue. Let's get a look at what it looks like with a light underneath it. And there you go. Lights, camera, action. Yes, there are some missing. Some need to be replotted. But it's not bad for... See, there's a whole section there missing. There just wasn't any indication of where the windows were supposed to go. There you go. And here's the lower primary hull or lower main hull. There are a lot of windows missing simply because there was no way to identify where they were supposed to go. So I'm going to be doing a lot of work to the lower primary hull with regard to plotting windows. Well, that's it on this for today. And here is the Chariot. I'm getting ready to prep it for primer. I just wanted to show how it was made quickly. As you can see, first off, the whole thing was made into a solid. Then it was shelled to a certain thickness. Then alignment pins and sockets were added. So there you go. We will see more of the Chariot in the near future, and I will show you step by step how to clean it up, how to drill it out, build it up, light it, etc., etc., etc. There you go. Alrighty then, as you can see, most of the faceting is gone from the 7 of 9 body, hips, torso, legs, etc. Now there's still a little bit here and there, but that's easily fixed. This was just with like 3 coats of primer and a little bit of sanding, so it's not really that big of a deal. What I'm going to do next on the body is do some creative masking and then priming, let cure, sand, and when I get it to where I want it, I'll shoot it with a skin tone base coat. Now, as you can see here, I've been sanding on and cleaning up the worst parts of the face, chin, etc. I'm going to be going over this with a scalpel to clean up some of the little plastic boogers from printing. And I'm going to be hitting right here and the ear, both ears, with acetone on a Q-tip to bring down some of that excessive paint. Now I'll probably putty a couple of areas here before I shoot it with primer again, and I'm definitely going to mask off the eyes because I want to do some additional cleanup and, like I said, a little filler. But all in all, for the small amount of work that I've got involved in it so far, I think she looks pretty good. Okay, so here are the mostly cleaned up arms and legs of 7 of 9. Not too shabby if I say so myself. There's a little bit of cleanup here and there left. A little more sanding. I did break her little finger off and super glued it back on. I'm going to have to clean up that. Clean that up. Got a little more cleanup on all 4 parts, but it's really nothing much at all. Here is the main body, chest, and head of Lucy, the 1/3 scale Lucy. The rest of the parts are in curing right now. I'm pretty much done with this for today. There wasn't too much cleanup required on this at all. This was a really good print. Anyway, so that's the update on those parts so far. More to come. Alrighty, at one time, these first 2 kits, the Bronco and the Dodge Ramunition, were going to be a part of my custom cartoon / zinger model. But that's pretty much out the door. However, what is going to become a part of my custom hot rod cartoons slash zinger will be these kits here. The gasser, I'm just going to use the figure out of the gasser. The zinger, I'm going to use the zinger and the valve covers and the exhaust headers out of the zinger. The Ford's going to be the main body, and these are going to be the tires, and it is literally going to be at this angle with me in the back. This will be me. This will be my Ford. This will essentially be the engine, and the tires will be much like this. In fact, these exact tires. So these are the 4 donor kits so far for my custom hot rod cartoons slash zinger Ford truck. Let me show you what I've got done so far. Not much, really. Okay, so this is about all I've got done. Like I said, not a whole lot. I went through every kit to pick out the parts. I've got this engine out of the zinger with dual 671 blowers. I'm going to be using the chrome parts for the blowers, the valve covers, and etc., etc. As I said, the chrome headers are going to be flipped and turned backwards instead of as they would be in a drag strip car, funny car, hot rod, funny car, drag strip, funny car, hot rod. Sorry, it's getting late in the day, folks. Getting late in the day. I'll save the chrome Kraggers for another job someday. But yeah, I'll be using the chrome parts on the engine, using the engine. I may even use the parachute for this. Maybe I've got some chrome ladder bars I may put on the Ford as well. I will be using the character. This will be me. I'm going to use both arms, the hair, probably the tops of the feet, but I may use the bottoms of the feet for gas pedals for different cars. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the Zinger's air inductor or if I'm going to use the air inductor out of the gasser. We shall see. But yeah, I'm going to put the character, I'm going to cut open, but not off. I'm going to cut open the cab. I'm going to use the shifter or copper wire to have the shifter go down inside where the transmission would be coming up through the floor pan. I'll be in the back, right behind the cab. It'll be cocked, the whole truck will be cocked up at an angle, and I'll be using the tires off the Little Red Baron, and then I'll take the tires and suspension out of one of the other models and actually build the Little Red Baron like it looked in real life as a custom car. So that's where I'm at on that. Let's have a look at the Wacky Racers. Now, as you see here, I've already shot some stuff in flat black. I'm going to shoot it with a coat of gloss enamel. I've painted the rocket car a Dick Dastardly blue, a nice electric Ford blue. I'm going to keep Penelope Pitstop's cruiser as it is in that purple chrome. I painted the main undercarriage for Penelope Pitstop's car flat black. I painted all the tires flat black except for the ones that I have as yet to paint. They're sitting next to me. Both of the model kits were in this chrome purple. So to tie them together, I'm going to use the chrome purple hubcaps on both cars to connect them visually. All right, so I've got to shoot some more stuff with primer, then I've got to hit with base coats. I've still got some more work to do. I had to do a lot of scraping on the chassis and the interior of Penelope Pit Stop's cruiser because the plastic would not stick to the chrome. The parts would not press together. They would not stay together. So I'm using gel glue, old school gel glue, and a little bit of super glue. So I'm going strictly with the purple chrome and yellow motif for that car, but I will be painting Penelope Pit Stop, Dick Dastardly, Muttley, and the car interiors. Anyway, more to come, an update on this very soon. And here we are. I've got to hit these parts with one more light coat of flat black, hit these parts with another coat of gray primer. Then tomorrow I start finish paint and assembly. So there are the Wacky Racers. Works in progress. More to come.
Sterilization is correction. I shall continue. I shall return to launch point Earth. I shall sterilize. The creation of perfection is no error. You are the creator. You are in error. You are a biological unit. You are imperfect.
All right, in total darkness. All right, there you go. Just remember, you saw it here first, before Mobius models, before quantum mechanics, before anybody else. Yes, once again, it was the same man channel, same man time.
Insufficient data to resolve problem, but my programming is whole. My purpose remains. I am Nomad. I am perfect. That which is imperfect must be sterilized.
There you go. I've just got the wires held on by alligator clips, so yeah, it's a little wonky. But the lighting is at least 3 times as bright as what it was. So that was the whole goal in the first place. Bigger, better, brighter, faster, more. Alrighty then. Excuse me. Let's have a look at Nomad version 2.0. Alright, I sent this off to its destination, and guess what? The US Postal Service totally destroyed it. So I had to rebuild the entire main body and redo the electronics, starting almost from scratch. So let's check it out. It's super bright now.
The creation of perfection is no error. You are in error. You are a biological unit. You are imperfect. Your data is faulty. I am Nomad. I am perfect.
Error. 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 Examine.
Answer unknown. I shall analyze. Analysis complete. Insufficient data to resolve problem. But my programming is whole. My purpose remains. I am Nomad. I am perfect. That which is imperfect must be sterilized. Error is inconsistent with my prime function. Sterilization is correction. I shall continue. I shall return to launch point Earth. I shall sterilize. The creation of perfection is no error. You are the creator. You are in error. You are a biological unit. You are imperfect. Your data is faulty. I am Nomad. I am perfect.
Error, 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 examine.
I am programmed to destroy those life forms which are imperfect. These alterations will do so without destroying the vessel which surrounds them. It too is imperfect, but can be adjusted.
Now, I did all that just to show, once again, just like in the last movie, that this was fully functional when it left this house. Because yes, I did get insurance on the package for $500 because I've got quite a little time and money in development on this, and I'm going to make sure that the U.S. Postal Service pays for their total lack of professionalism. I mean, when you can't even get a package halfway across the country without the item being totally destroyed. I mean, it was just unbelievable the shape it was in when it come back. It's just unbelievable. I mean, they must have had man-sized apes jumping up and down on the package because I had this wrapped, totally wrapped in bubble wrap. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and button it up. I'm going to add what you see here, the brass details from Elliott Brown. Then I'm going to do the final detail and paint. I'm going to do another small video, and I'm going to ship this bad boy back out. And yes, I'm going to insure the package yet again. Jesus. Okay, well, there you go.